welcome to Car Crazy Katie, the new series where I go car crazy. Over the series we'll be looking at everything from maxed up motors to sports car chic, and we're going to be meeting some adrenaline junkies. But first in the series we're here at York Dragway to check out the Northern Dragway Championship. Coming up in today's show, I get stuck right in on the off-road course. We give you more speed than you can shake a stick at down at York Dragway, and there's a sneaky peek at another of my Krackers. But first, we're off to this week's main venue, York Dragway, where I find out more about what goes on at a drag race. I'd never been to a drag strip before, but I found out that there's much more to racing over the quarter mile than I thought. Today is a specially organised event where people can bring their cars down to try their hand at the very macho American sport of drag racing. You get a real mix of people at events like this, and it's great to see some girls getting involved. And no, they're not just here with their boyfriends, they're racing. Good on you girls. This is Natalie Hutchinson, and she has just joined the Max Car Club, and I believe it's your first day out on the track today. Yes. And she's only had a car for 3 weeks, so it's all a little bit exciting, and she's all ready to go. And look, oh, my driver, the tear arsing up there. You like it? Today with Martin Clifford. No, not that Martin, this Martin.
Hi.
Now Martin organises more or less everything that goes on here today, don't you?
Yeah, that's right.
And the clubs are involved.
That's right, yeah.
Can you talk us through what you need to do?
Right, basically the gathering of the cars you see today is what's known as the Max Car Club Shootout. It's a challenge set up for different car clubs with different makes of cars to take on each other.
Right.
With 6 different classes of car to find out which club has got the fastest car in each of the classes.
Can any type of people get involved in these?
Anybody can have a go, provided they are a car club member. They have to be part of a registered car club. It starts out as fun, and it is really supposed to be fun, but you do get some people that spend an awful lot of money on the cars.
Right. There's a reason for why you took this light out. Can you tell us about that?
Well, yeah, just round the back of it with an air filter. Basically, just to get more air in for the air filter to draw in, and you can run more boost.
How much have you spent all in all then? Are you allowed to say?
Will my wife be watching this or not?
No.
No, about 15,000.
15,000,
yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Not cheap.
Not cheap, no, not cheap.
We'll be coming back to the York Dragway a little bit later, but first here's a look at another top-notch, homegrown, modified motor owned by one of my lovely viewers. We're bringing you another of the UK's finest. This week is the very special and soon-to-be famous Golf.
It's a Mark 1 Golf GTI with a Corrado engine in it, supercharged one. It's got to be the acceleration. It's the best thing about it. I've spent about 20 grand since 1995.
But why come to an event like this?
To try and win a trophy, to add to the collection. 19 first place concourse wins. Club GTI Car of the Year. Won at Scottish National Day twice. Car of the Show, best in class.
Take a good look, boys, because this Golf is going to be very famous very soon.
It's going to be in the Ali G movie next year. It's about 5 weeks we went filming, but it's just on and off for about 5 or 6 visits. But that's pretty interesting. Got a picture with the man in front of my car, so that was good.
There are loads of different classes when it comes to racing dragsters, but the cars running today are mostly road cars, which means that you can take your normal car out for a run on the strip. But normal is not the word I would use to describe some of this lot. People bring all sorts of cars to these events, from classic American muscle cars and conventional dragsters to everyday runabouts. But all of the cars have one thing in common: they're seriously quick, with times over the quarter mile ranging from 20 to 6.5 seconds, depending on the class of the car. Although drag racing leaves little to go wrong, safety-wise is safety first with any type of motorsport. So I had a chat to Steve Murty, one of the marshals, to find out more.
Today is a specialist lifestyle event really for enthusiasts of the GTI marque, the Golf GTI, the Renault GTI and all cars similar to that, the hot hatch, the current breed of hot hatch cars. This venue gives them a place to come and play. It's we like to feel it's a very safe place because it's a straight line. It's a drag strip. It's over a quarter of a mile from a standing start here on the start line to the finish boards, the checkerboards down behind me. A lot of people initially might think it might be quite boring to race over a standing start quarter mile. But once people get involved, they start to realise that there's several races within the race, that it's all about personal challenge. It's the challenge to have the best looking car, it's the challenge to have the quickest accelerating car, it's the challenge to be the quickest on the lights. And it's the challenge also to do quite a fast speed within 440 yards.
I'll be back on the drag strip a little bit later, but first check out what I got up to on the jungle track. Well, they told me I was coming to the jungle experience, but I didn't expect this. Today, I've come down to the Land Rover Jungle Track in Solihull to test out my off-roading skills. This track is specially designed to test your driving skills over a number of different obstacles, like driving through water, or uneven ground and some scary slopes. I caught up with Ian, my instructor, who was going to put me through my paces. My God, you've just come down a monster of a hill. What did you have to do?
Well, we always select first gear and come down. I'll show you a couple of different techniques that we use on the obstacles we've got.
Right.
And then I'll get you to drive.
Well, let's go for it.
Okay.
There's a few things I'm going to have to do once I'm behind the steering wheel. I think you need to talk me through it.
Yeah, well, we're going to go down this steep one. Yeah.
Right.
First gear, low range. You're not going to need to touch any of the pedals. The car's going to go down on engine braking alone. Then you'll find that all you need to do is just steer and enjoy. Yeah?
So I'm braking at the top. I don't need to brake on the way down. Brake at the bottom in my low gears.
You've got it.
Okay.
So just slow the car down now as you feel the front wheels go over.
It was so tempting to use the brakes, but following Ian's instructions, it really worked.
Now you can use the brakes, now you're down at the bottom.
That was absolutely fantastic. God, my adrenaline's pumping. Is yours?
Yes, very much.
Yeah? What else have you got lined up for me?
Well, we're going to move on and have a look at some other things.
Yeah?
You did really well.
Hey. Ian is now going to talk me through what I need to do driving along this till. First of all, I can barely walk across it, so it's going to be quite challenging. But I've noticed there's quite a large stone here and a bit of a dip.
Yep, that's going to make all the difference when you're on a side slope.
Right.
That's why we select first gear.
Come
along nice and gently. 30 degrees is what we recommend with the Discovery.
Right.
This isn't that, but it's going to feel as though it's a lot further.
This felt so weird. The car was on such an angle, it felt like I was sliding right over onto the instructor's lap. So Ian, I have to say this car is on such an angle that it just goes to show how amazingly it is built. Because I feel like I'm going to tipple over, do you?
No, not at all.
No? Can it go much higher than this?
It can go quite a bit further than this.
Yeah?
It certainly gets a little bit more frightening than that.
Yeah. Whoa. This patch of uneven ground proved a little bit tricky, but thanks to Ian's instructions, I eventually made it through.
That's it. Back into second. That's it. A little bit more to your right.
I thought that I was having some trouble and expecting to get some stick from the lads, but little did I know the trouble they were getting themselves into.
You can see better than I can being stuck in the front here.
While I was getting stuck in with Ian, further around the course the crew were having a few little problems. A second instructor was called round to give them a hand. After stopping for a little bit of a giggle, I carried on to get seriously dirty on the rest of the course.
A little bit faster, and then you need to keep up with that way. That's it.
After several attempts at pulling them out from behind, they switched to the front on lots of rope, 2 Land Rovers, and 3 hours later, they finally managed to pull it out. Well, I've had a fantastic day, have you?
Very good.
Don't know about the crew like.
I'm not so sure.
Who cares? So how did I do anyway?
I think another week of personal tuition and you'll be there.
Learnt my tilts, I've gone down my steep hill.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm nearly there. We've just about finished in this part, but still to come in part 2 we have the first of Katie's Krackers and more drag racing shenanigans. Welcome back to Car Crazy Katie. Still loads more to come in part 2, but first of all it's time to take a look at one of my little Krackers. This week in Katie's Krackers, it's the German gem, the Porsche 911 Turbo. Brad, this is my favourite one. I really like this. The Porsche Turbo 911, which has been changed to the 996.
Exactly, you're quite right, Katie, and I've got to agree with you, this is my favourite car. This basically is Porsche's road-going rocket.
Right.
A tremendously fast car, very, very safe car as well. It's 4-wheel drive, 3.6. You will, or some of your viewers will have known them as the 911.
Right.
They're now called the 996. Basically, the model was changed cosmetically and tweaked with the engine tweaked with in 1996, and it became the 996.
I like it because it's stunning looking, but it's got that little look of naughtiness.
Oh,
and I think it appeals to everybody. I think anyone who looks at this car is going to go, yes.
Yes.
Do you agree?
I totally agree. And also, it's not too in your face, this car.
No, that's right.
Bear in mind as well, it's a German car, so the engineering is superb. In other words, your grandma could drive this car. Yeah. And also...
I wouldn't like my grandma to drive that car, I'd be extremely jealous.
But it is tremendously powerful and tremendously safe. And also, like you said, it's a very good looking car.
What size engine are we looking at?
We're looking at 3.6.
3.6, so that's going to give us top speed of...
Top speed, I wouldn't like to say, Katie, because it would go off the clock. It's tremendously quick. In one recent test, it was doing 170 miles an hour and it was climbing and climbing and climbing. We're talking 0 to 60 in round about 4.5 seconds, delivering 400 brake horsepower.
Right. I love the colour as well.
It's gorgeous.
Colour's lovely.
It's called seal grey, this colour.
Seal grey, we like this. And the back end again.
The back end, yes. If you look at the back end with this big spoiler on here, which is actually speed activated, and the faster you go, this section actually slides out to give lots of downforce on the rear of the car to keep the rear end right down.
And what's the performance like? What's it like actually when you power into the bends? Does it stick?
It sticks like glue. There is no car, in my opinion, on the road which is a better handling car than this particular vehicle. It's a bit different to a normal 996, which distinguishes between the normal Porsche and a 996 Turbo. The body kit says that it's a turbo.
Yeah, definitely. I love the lights at the front.
Yes.
When you walk up to the car, that's the first thing that jumps out personally to me.
Yeah, there's like a teardrop effect.
It's lovely. So, Brad, I reckon I'm going to give this car 9 out of 10.
I've got to disagree with you, Katie. This car is 10 out of 10, and the proof's in the pudding. Come on, jump in.
Really?
Yeah.
OK, so we're going to leave you here, and I'm going to get in and see what this machine can do. We're back at the strip checking out the world of drag racing, and it's not as hard as you might think to get involved. There are 3 main drag strips around the country, and as you can see, it's not all the conventional dragsters. There are several different classes from jet cars to street races and traditional dragsters. This allows the odds to be evened out a bit, which means you could even stand a chance with your mum's Nissan Micra. It doesn't have to cost a fortune to race at a day like this. There's a nominal charge to enter for the day, then the rest depends on what type of car you are running and how involved in the sport you get. There are people who just run their normal cars for the day, and those who have done it for a lifelong hobby and spent a fortune. We spoke to a few of the guys involved to find out more. This is Matt Flavell, and he's given me the pleasure of sitting in his dragster today. So Matt, tell us a little bit about what type of dragster this car is.
It's a Super Pro dragster, which is a class that basically is the top end of the amateur market. To go any quicker, you'd be classed as a professional.
Right, and what size engine?
It's a 427 cubic inch Chevrolet, so that's about 7 litres.
Right, and how much does this car cost?
Don't really tell you. Probably in excess of 20,000, but I've been racing for 24 years and I've just built it up bit by bit by bit, so.
Right, and have you done anything to modify this car to make it any faster?
Oh yes, yeah, basically, right from front to back, everything's modified.
And can you just talk us through a few things that you've done?
Yeah, basically it started out as a 225 inch Super Comp car. We've extended the wheelbase to give us a lot more stability at the top end.
Right.
It originally was designed to run at about 130, 136 mile an hour.
Right.
We actually run 170 odd mile an hour now. So it becomes quite unstable at high speed.
Is it easy to lose control of something so powerful?
Oh, it's very easy to lose control of it.
Back end.
Yeah, you have to be very, very focused on what you're doing, because the very moment it feels like it's out of shape, you have to get off the throttle.
Right.
It's making 900 horsepower, that engine, and things happen very, very quickly.
So how many races do you do?
There's 10 rounds in the National Championship, which will run all 10 rounds. We normally end up trying to do 2 or 3 maybe test days prior to that. And if we have any problems during the course of the season, we'll pick up as many testing days as we can to get back on track. So we can run the car 15 or 16 times in a season. Well, there's an old adage in drag racing: if you want to make a small fortune, start with a large one.
Right. Anything else?
It's a lot of fun.
Well, thanks very much for talking to us.
Yep, good
Well,
stuff.
I've met some right characters today, but while I go and track down some more, check this out. I'm sure you all know me better from the late night programmes here on Men and Motors. Each week on Car Crazy Katie, I let you into my thoughts on the world of cars and high speeds. Learning to drive. Well, my dad taught me to drive, and I remember he used to take me on this car park, and I was so desperate to get out on the roads. I was like, you know, we've done this, and he's like, no, Kate, you know, you still got to get used to, you know, your gearbox and all this, is it push and pull, and I remember when I actually got onto the roads that I just froze. I was so scared with all the traffic coming past me and everything that we have. And it's hard as well with your dad teaching you, because it's easy for you to have a row or to argue. And so I kind of stormed out the car once. I pulled it over and I said, right, I'm not having no more lessons, take me home. So my dad took me home, and I remember cutting my own nose off to spite my face because I wouldn't go back out in the car then for 2 weeks. And my dad was like, no, you can go and you pay for your lessons, I'm not teaching you. I'm like, I'm sorry, Dad, you know, it won't happen again. So I think it helped with the Mini, because it's just a very easy car to handle, and it's not too big of a car to park, to reverse, you know. So I think that gave me my guts in a car, shall I say. All these track days you can do now, that's something, after doing this show, that I've realised that I've got a passion for it, because I want to be, you know, going racing my car there, and it's such a good laugh. You know, why do it out on these roads? Because so many people do, when you can just go along to a track day and it's safe, and there's people there to look after you, people to help you, teach you to be a better driver, and yeah. Back at the drag strip and things are hotting up. We're getting towards the end of the day and the cars left now are seriously quick. It's dead easy to get involved in a day like this. All you need to do is head down to your nearest drag strip. You can find details quite easily on the internet. But before you start getting all revved up and ready to go, there are a few things that you must do. First, check your insurance. Secondly, make sure you've got a helmet. Other than the essentials, the rest is up to you, like bringing extra tyres and temporary mods which aren't road legal but will give you that extra 100th of a second on the drag strip. At first glance, drag racing might seem quite easy. After all, you're just driving in a straight line. But it's not as simple as it looks. It takes practice to get as good and quick as some of these guys. But I couldn't take sitting back watching for much longer and went to find someone to take me up the strip. I'll be checking out your driving skills as well now.
All right, okay.
So, you got to impress me.
I'll do my best.
Go on, mate. You should. Oh, listen to that engine. Boom. Here we go. Come on. Woo! Oh, we're at 60 already. Come on, hey. Oh. Woo! Hey, this can shift. Woo! How about that? Oh, fantastic. That's pretty quick, isn't it? That's pretty quick. I was impressed, especially with your gear manoeuvres. We like that.
It wasn't bad.
Ooh. Well, unfortunately, that's all we've got time for this week, but I've had a great day. I've travelled up the track at 150 miles an hour. I've sat in a £20,000 dragster, and it was really nice to see girls participating in such a macho sport. But I'm absolutely freezing, so I'm going for a drink. But don't forget to see me next week when I'll be at the Revs 205 track day. See you then.